One in this house.
And you're gonna come back and do it. Yeah, that's what it is.
All right, we're going in.
Cromarty, welcome to Hugh Miller's birthplace. Do you guys know who the hell Hugh Miller is?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so great to have a group which know who he is. Well, you'll discover today that Hugh starts off in very humble beginnings, but he goes on to become one of Victorian Britain's greatest minds. He only lives until he's 54 years old, but during that short span of time, he is everything from a geologist, to a fossil hunter, to a stonemason, to a social justice campaigner, to an evangelical Christian, to a writer, to a novelist, to a folklorist, to a newspaper reporter, to a newspaper editor, to a banker, to a traveller, to a model, to an artist, to a family man, and even a failed poet. Your entry covers 2 buildings and 2 gardens. This building is Hugh Miller's cottage. This is where he was born on the 10th of October 1802. It's done up to resemble how it may have looked when Hugh lived there at the time. It was actually built by his great-grandfather, who was a pirate. A pirate of the Caribbean as well. The birthplace museum next door to us is called Miller House. It was built by Hugh's father in 1797, but Miller only lives in it from 1837 to 1840. It now houses the Miller Museum collection, and from what your guide has told me, these are fossils that I've collected from the Black Isle. This is a nodule, a Jurassic nodule containing ammonites, converging in ammonites.
Wow.
This dates to, give or take a Tuesday, about 140 million years ago. This is the head of a Cocosteus, which is a species of armoured fish which Miller was most famous for discovering, or discovering examples of. This is Devonian and is 385 million years old. So there's much more exciting examples next door. Now I know you guys have only got a short while, but just because we're a bit tight for space, I'm thinking if I can cut you in half here, this group are going to start in the museum next door. You're literally heading out the gate, along into the building, up the stairs. There's going to be a spiral staircase which will take you up into the museum. First floor covers Miller's life in Cromarty in Edinburgh. Top floor has all the fossils.
Okay.
This side are going to start...
Oh, the old red. Okay. I'll swear. That's what was confusing. Try to get at least one without glare. That works.
So here's his first fossil finds. Wow.
Downlight. Well, look at the size of the downlights. Jeez. I found that size, the one like number 5, but never those big ones.
Cocktails.
First, let's notice where the fossils are occurring on nodules.
That's what I was wondering.
So here we are on the shore at low tide in a place where Hugh Miller collected a lot of his incredible fish fossils that were found in limestone nodules. And so there is a limestone lens here that we're taking a good look at. And behind us, in the distance, on the far shore, is the Moyne with some granite intrusions in it. And off in the distance over here, some more Moyne. So we're looking at a nice little pocket here of sedimentary rock with the Moyne in the distance.
And this is the old red sandstone.
Yes.
And also further north in the Aknarana's quarry. That's the first thing. And then here on the geological map, there's this little tiny little bit of the grey, a band of it, which it's just on the beach there. I'm going to show it to you. That band contains the fish fossils. Most of the fish fossils were just sort of found at the lowest tide, out in the boulders, just around, because there's another grey bit of it here. So I think they put the signboard here because it is a place where you can actually touch the layer, but a lot of the fossils just loose in boulders about, and it's all been picked over and all been found. You know, that's sort of the problem. But he found a great abundance of them here. And while we're looking at that view, before I read the signpost, just where these wooden steps start to go up, we're going to make our way down onto the beach there. It's a bit of a slippy big step down, but we'll help each other down. And the Moyne metamorphic rocks just start there at that end of the beach, and this is sort of sitting unconformably on it. But anyway, let's reading the board. So the Hugh Miller Cromarty Trail is all about him. Here's a picture of him here. He was a geologist, a naturalist, a writer, and folklorist. This is a site of special scientific interest, means you can't use a geological hammer here, made famous by Hugh Miller. As a boy and later as a stonemason, he had always been curious about the nature of a landscape. In the autumn of 1830, the Cromarty Firth, in the autumn of 1830, he undertook a thorough survey of the landform of the Cromarty Firth, and he discovered the fossil fish beds which he described in My Schools and Schoolmasters and in the Old Red Sandstone. A quote, "They were composed of an argillaceous shale abounding in limestone nodules. I laid open a nodule with a blow of the hammer, and my heart leapt up when I saw it enclosed an organism. I wrought with the eagerness of a discoverer entering for the first time in a terra incognita of wonders, and discovered in the course of a single tide specimens enough to cover a museum table." So yeah, basically, no one had ever looked before, and he just found. You won't be able to do that now because he found them all. And it's not being reworked and eroded out. Yeah. It was Miller's discovery of the winged fish, which he called Pterichthys, which made this site a world famous. And here is. Well, you see it in the museum anyway. You'll see it in the museum. Made the site world famous. Miller was to go on to make an important contribution to the understanding of the Old Red Sandstone, which is these rocks 350 to 400 million years old. Just offshore lies Clach Moloch, a large erratic boulder left behind by the moving ice sheets or glaciers. It is only visible on a falling tide and accessible only at the lowest tide. So we actually can't see it at the moment, but it's the tide is quite a bit further it can go out. The waters of Cromarty and the Moray Firths are rich habitats for seabirds and marine wildlife such as seals and dolphins. These are the subjects of long-term study by the Cromarty Lighthouse Field Station and the University of Aberdeen. So that's the story. The Great Glen Fault is just the outer coastline there. We're here on this inner coastline. It's the outer coastline, and we're going to. Some of you who prefer to sit on a bench for your lunch, you might want to sit on this bench. But I'm going to take the main portion of us down onto the beach, show you where this limestone is, and then find a rock to sit on to eat your lunch. Okay?
Okay. Could you remind me?
I think it's this here.
This is the old red sandstone.
Yeah, it is. Oh, fantastic.
Oh, look at you.
Well, we do
Look at
have a
him.
fossil.
Fossil
Okay.
of
Yeah.
what is it, a fossil
A
of?
little
Fish
worm?
part.
A
Yeah,
fish
yeah,
part
little-
or a little
Right.
worm?
Little guy right there.
Yeah.
A little fish spine or something.
Yeah.
I'll take a picture of it. Just get my acid away.
So this is the old red sandstone.
Yeah, I think these are the fossils of limestone. We've just found that fossil spiny piece of this. Yeah, we just did. This is the band, and you see it comes up there folded. This is the layer. But this layer seems to be quite a high lime content as well. But this is the layer, and this is why there's the little tiny bit of red up there. There's a dike just up there. Yeah. So that tiny bit of purple is what we're on. And that's why the board's there.
So it doesn't go because of the hill.
Goes to the hill and they don't know what happens then. There's no exposure.
So much before you went out. So now we need to find.
Oh, look at that. And you just wandered around it.
No, I knew exactly where it was.
That's really good. Congratulations. So this is the unit.
Oh, wonderful.